Hi, this is Brandon Spillane from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the offset kettlebell front rack goblet squat. Or you could also call it an offset goblet squat with a kettlebell. So we're going to perform our standard goblet squat. We're just going to have the kettlebell loaded onto one side, so that's where the offset comes from. And then we're going to perform our standard goblet squat. So obviously you want to make sure that your athlete probably has a standard goblet squat down, that movement pattern's mastered, and even probably the double kettlebell front rack goblet squat is probably another thing that you want to make sure you have mastered before you do this, because we're going to be able to get a little bit more trunk activation from this as we begin to rotate, and obviously want to shift towards one side. We're going to have to fight that as we squat. So you're definitely going to want a kettlebell for this. You can certainly get away with the dumbbell, if that's all you had. You can hold it on one side. The kettlebell is certainly more comfortable than the dumbbell, but we're going to bring it up here in our front rack position. So I got the kettlebell by the horns here, got my thumb around. I'm going to make a fist. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to punch myself. The bell part of the kettlebell is hanging off the side of my arm, and my arm is a little bit down. Okay, we're not cranked through extension. This is the number one fault you're going to see with this exercise. They're going to crank through extension, trying to hold that kettlebell up here. Obviously, they're trying to cheat to be able to hold it, which really we want the upper back to do the work. You know, we're definitely not trying to tax our shoulder by any means, but this definitely has my shoulder on fire just holding this 30-pound kettlebell. What we really want is make sure that arm is tucked, and it's here, and it will just sit flush there. Okay, I can feel my abdominals working, I can feel my back working, but my shoulder's not getting cranked on too much from this position. Okay, then we take our standard goblet or squat stance, so feel a little wider than shoulder width. I'm going to be straight forward here. My hand's going to come towards my midline, towards the middle of my body. Usually you can have your arm offset if you want to, or you can hold it back in the middle. I prefer to hold it in the middle or by my side. I'm usually more up here towards the middle, especially when it's heavier. And then what we're going to do is we're going to squat down, then back up. So down, back up. Okay. So you might ask yourself, why would you offset it? One, you're going to get some more trunk work. You're going to favor one leg over the other a little bit. But what I really like is that the kettlebell is basically trying to pull us to the right. So what we're going to do to react is we're going to pull ourselves to the left. And anybody that studied PRI or any kind of Bill Hartman's work, their basic model and understanding, that generally your body pulls to the right naturally anyways. So by having the load on that side, then we can begin to work on pulling ourselves back to the left. So if you have that athlete that seems to be showing that they're favoring their right side, they're turning to the right, their measures and assessments show that they're turning to the right, this might be a way to have them squat bipedally or with both legs, but you can also get them to force to turn toward the left side or towards the right side, if they're turning too much to the left, which isn't very common, but however that is, you could certainly program this to combat that and begin to work on that and just squat on that one side and just to pull yourself back to the left if that's what you happen to need. Otherwise, do both sides and just get the extra abdominal work out of the exercise and be able to mix the squat pattern up a little bit as well. Like I said, then obviously you're going to be favoring one side, trying to push yourself back to the other side to be able to go straight up and down. When I program these, I personally like this for 3 to 5 reps of about 5 to 8 reps per side, depending upon where the client or the athlete is. Usually you'll see this about 5 to 6 reps per side, because you got to think if you're doing one side, you're doing the other, so that'd be about anywhere from 10 to 12 squats, which is a pretty good amount of work, and especially obviously you have to switch sides, and then also got to talk about the postural aspect from the upper back and how that might be fatigued. So there are some other considerations, but I think that if you're looking at a way to spice up the goblet squat, or if you're one of those people that feels like you're shifting towards the right a lot, especially in your squat, you could try this, and this will help try to pull you back to the left side by everything working to combat that. So don't think that the weight's on the right side, that's basically going to make you squat to the right more. Well, we got to think about what's going to counteract to everything. Now, if you obviously squat incorrectly and are constantly squatting to the right, and even with that there, then you keep moving to the right, then you're going to have a problem. But I think in most cases than not, you'll notice that you're going to go more straight up and down, and you're going to pull towards the left side, especially when you're talking about it's on that right side load. So if you have any questions about this, I know that was a little bit confusing, but feel free in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.